to BeerAmerica.tv. I am Paul Leone with
John Pinkerton
and
David Little.
David Little is back, and
David Little. David Little.
And I was fortunate enough way back in 2008, way back,
Long time
way
ago.
back,
Long time ago.
and David hooked up with us, and David said, you know, let me get you some beers. I said, great, give me some beers, and so I have 4 cases of what we call the stash.
The stash.
And we email each other, are you taking it from the stash?
The stash.
I said, yes, I'm bringing beers from the stash. So one of the beers from the stash is... David?
Monkshine. Oh, here, we'll do both of them?
Oh, sure. Bring it right up there.
There we go.
There we go. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Monkshine, which I had never heard of before. Monkshine.
It's
and when I look at it real quick, it was moonshine. So I read it, but it was monkshine.
You know, I did too.
Yeah,
Exactly. When you look at it real quick.
We know where you guys are
Are you
staying.
making fun of me?
Yeah, we know you guys.
No, I did.
Oh, okay.
I really did. I see shine and then I get all excited.
That's the old Georgia thing, and you know.
And doing a little research on it, it's from the 4 Plus Brewing.
4 Plus Brewing, which is actually the kind of the experimental line for Uinta out of Salt Lake City, Utah. And one of the things about Salt Lake City or all of Utah is they have a lower 3.2, I think,
Oh, yeah.
limit on alcohol for most of the beer, unless it's bottled to be shipped out. So what they do,
Where is this? Utah?
Utah.
4%?
Yeah.
3.2,
We're in
right?
Georgia, because that used to be, you know.
Oh, that's the limit for in-state?
Yeah. But so what they've done is they've learned how to make really, really flavorful lower alcohol beers.
Okay.
This one,
Which is a good thing, really,
Oh,
because
it's
it's nice,
excellent.
not to have a 20% alcohol beer in your glass.
Monkshine is what, 5%?
Monkshine is
4%.
Yes, 4%.
4%.
Yep.
So it's probably the only 4% Belgian you're ever going to try.
And the 4 Plus stands
Oh,
for
the 4 Plus.
barley,
yeast, water,
water, and
hops.
hops.
And the
Yep,
plus
there you
is the brewer's art. It's the little extra thing,
Je ne sais quoi.
which John knows a little bit about.
Yes.
A little bit about.
So,
Oh, there we
open
go.
it up. There
That's
we
not
go.
a twist off.
It's not a twist off. Yeah, he was making fun of me earlier. Yeah. So pour it. Go ahead and pour it right there, and look at the color.
Oh.
You know, I used to know how to do that. And
no,
we're at the distillery up
I
on the
don't know how to do
stage
that,
in Savannah,
apparently.
Georgia, who have been kind enough to host us still. And
that for
John
me?
just
Yeah,
flipped
look
that
at
beer
that,
cap and
yeah.
it flew down at the bar. So hopefully nobody lost an
I
eye.
lost an eye or
Just
so.
then.
So here.
Sorry.
How'd you describe the color there? That's it's a little darker than I would expect for a 4%.
Well,
It's
yeah,
not
yeah.
dark.
You know, it's a
Kind of orangey hue there.
yeah, it's a Belgian pale.
Okay.
So it's kind of the style. So.
It's got some of those
Belgian Pale
distinctive
Thank you, sir.
aroma characteristics.
Yeah, I'll finish that last little bit of that bottle up.
Yeah, it smells like a. Now, when I say it smells like a Belgian, and again, I think I'm more of the junior in the crowd here as far as understanding all of this. I smell something right away that says Belgian. What would that be? Would it
I
be
think
the yeast
here
strain?
you're getting a little teeny touch of phenol
Okay.
or phenolic
A little spice.
that can really range anywhere from kind of smoky to spicy to medicinal. And this is kind of like I would say on the lower end of the spectrum as far as a lot of Belgian beers. Some have a really powerful phenol characteristic. But there's also a certain fruitiness that's, I think, apparent in most Belgian beers.
Well, right, and that's what I think. There's something very in common. Not that this tastes like every other Belgian. I just took a taste of it, and it's got a really nice flavor. Would it have the witch hazel and juicy fruits a little bit? Did you take a
This
little
one
taste?
doesn't really. I'm not.
I'm getting a little juicy fruitiness.
Well, there's definitely a lot of those kind of fruity characteristics, but I think what really kind of would give it the Brett character, it would be that kind of witch hazel-y kind of phenol behind it. This is going to
very
be.
minor though. It's very nice.
This to me is striking me more like what you would get from.
You hold your own glass.
It's almost closer akin to a German or Bavarian Hefeweizen.
Okay, yep.
With the Bavarian Hefeweizen, you get the distinct clove phenol,
Yeah.
and then you usually get a very distinctive isoamyl acetate, that banana ester. And so
He said
this is not. I know it's really dorky.
No,
Boss for all the
should know
Jekyll
that
Hydes.
because part of this is that we were talking before we started all of this that I thought I knew a lot because I drank a lot of craft beers when I traveled a lot, and I didn't know anything until I started working with these guys, and it's because of this information. So share it, because now there's certain characteristics to a Belgian that I taste. I think a lot of people feel the same because a lot more Belgians, I think, and I don't know if you would agree with this, is are available today than there were even just
absolutely.
a year ago.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm seeing more Belgians, and it seems to be a real popular style of beer.
Certainly in Georgia, and
Well, maybe in Georgia. I mean, I'm speaking primarily.
I've heard of a bunch of Belgian breweries now that owe their continued existence to the American market.
It's a nice color.
I think it's got a great flavor for a 4% beer.
Sure.
It's a lot of body. I actually almost get a little bit of that. Well, I don't, but it's some of that almost alcohol kind of quality that I get in some of the higher alcohol triples.
Yeah.
And
I think I know what you're talking about. I think that's really the most impressive point here is that this is a low alcohol beer that the body hasn't dropped out of. A lot of times with those lower alcohol beers, you get some of that kind of watery characteristic. Not getting that here. I think the way they achieve that really is just by maintaining the body, but with some residual sweetness, and by also not backing off too much on the bitterness, because bitterness and alcohol also go hand in hand too. So I think you can kind of simulate some of that characteristic by keeping that bitterness there. But without the body, it would just seem intense without the support structure there. So I think it's
nice.
very impressive.
Yeah. And none of us used interesting or unusual, which is a good thing. It means we liked it. It's kind of good.
Yeah, a lot of our fans out there are coming to speculate about whether I like a beer or not based
because
on
we
what
don't
sort of
rate
behavior.
beers. We don't rate beers, right? That's part of our thing.
We don't
because
rate
taste
beers.
is subjective, which we did early on, and it's so true. I mean, so I think but we don't. I'm not a fan of all beers either. I've had a few beers during these blogs where it was fine. But I
really
would probably
found
not
one I
have
don't
again. Really, there are certain styles that I
I
just
love
don't
them
do.
all.
Yeah.
they all have their quality. It's like
Some of my
children,
favorites you
know?
haven't liked. So
It's
I-
all
like-
good booze.
It's all good news.
Some of your children and some of your grandchildren and some of your nieces and nephews, which you're really happy they go home.
This is the first beer I've had from Monkshine. I'm impressed.
Show the
Yeah, the Far Plus. They've got an organic pale ale. There's
Doesn't it look like moonshine.
pumpkin.
Hold it right up.
It does. Does that not look like moonshine?
Right there. It kind of looks like it says Monkshine, but it kind of looks like moonshine.
Maybe that's on purpose.
Maybe so.
Could be.
I wonder if you can get away with just calling it shine.
Call it Shine. You maybe if you're a big fan, give me a bottle of Shine.
I don't. Any TTB listeners out there want to
Yeah,
give us a call and let us know?
I'd be willing to bet they would reject that one
They'd say
pretty
no
quick.
to that.
Yeah.
I think they'd say no.
So it's
Ixnay on
Monkshine.
the shine a or something. Shine shay, ein shay. Sorry.
It's all right.
I never could go through that pig Latin stuff. So.
So it's Monkshine from 4 Plus Brewing, which is part of
Uinta.
Right, Uinta.
Uinta Brewing.
Out of Utah, 4% alcohol, which is nice because a lot of the beers we try are 6 plus. Yeah, I know. Right.
Yeah,
and
at least.
right. And this is nice. This is actually nice departure from that.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Yes, thank
Lovely
you.
beer.
It's lunch. Yeah, it's delicious.
Any questions, comments? Paul at beeramerica.tv, Pink at beeramerica.tv. If you have any messages for David, and David's good at leaving comments, and I would encourage all of you to do the same. Leave comments if you want. If you like a beer, don't like a beer, leave a comment. It's a good thing.
Comment about Chris.
Sorry.
Sorry, I don't mean to point. I shouldn't point. It's kind of rude. So leave comments.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. We're listening.
We
and,
love you.
Look for us on Twitter, Facebook, anywhere else. I don't have a MySpace page. I feel too old.
Swing by Moon River.
Swing by Moon River.
David's always there.
The only brew pub in Savannah, Georgia. And you know
Or
what would
on
be
the
good?
side there, that's what I got.
If you could sell your beers nationally.
What a good idea.
Man,
Have you thought of that?
Have you thought of that?
that's a great idea.
Well, there you go. So we're going to leave on that note. John's going to think of that because he hasn't yet. And we're going to say cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So much. Monkshine.
Okay.
Oh, Chris is behind the camera. Cheers. Yeah,
Water, I gotta stay sober. I gotta drive home.